Okay, so thank you again for joining us. I'm just going to introduce myself quickly. I think most of you know me by now, but just in case, I'm the founder of Extraordinary Journeys, a travel company that organizes extraordinary travel around the world. And we like to work with suppliers and properties that are committed to conservation and wildlife, just like Cottars Camp today. We put together these virtual webinars to raise money for areas that have relied on tourism to meet their conservation goals and right now are greatly affected by coronavirus. One place that I hold dearly is Kenya, where I was born and my parents still have a house. And I am actually particularly concerned about the Maasai Mara and all the conservancies around it because for so long, they've never had any crisis like this where suddenly just no tourism came. The thing that's really interesting to me in the Maasai Mara is all the conservancies around the Mara. Is everyone hearing me or just making sure? Yeah, oh, okay. All the areas around the Maasai Mara and the conservancies in particular. So for those who aren't familiar with the Maasai Mara and the conservancies, you've got the main Maasai Mara, which is the national park. And all around it, there was all this land that was open grazing land. And it was always very compatible with wildlife. But then all the land got subdivided into small plots belonging to various Maasai families. And it really just started becoming a real problem because they were sold to farmers and then hotels started building up and different little strips of land. They started putting up fences, there was agriculture, and the whole area was just starting to suffocate because you'd have the main Mara and all around it were just these little plots of land. So about 15 years ago, there was a movement that started and individual Maasai landowners can combine their plots and they formed these conservancies, which could be leased by tourism partners, and they generated income for landowners from rent from the land, and they created jobs, they helped landowners, and they just opened up the whole area, limited the number of people, the number of hotels. And the model was amazing because essentially the Maasai Mara doubled in size. So to give you an idea, in Kenya, I think the latest statistics I read was that 70% of the wildlife in Kenya was outside the reserves. And it was just absolutely amazing that this worked, and it just seemed to be this like incredible relationship between private landowners and tourism and conservation. One of those conservations today, where Joseph works, is the Older Kensi Trust, the Conservancy, and 62% of the money they get is from tourists to help with conservation. And when it's not just land that they lease, that's part of the conservation, I looked at their numbers, and most of it goes to rangers, to local families, like all the efforts to protect wildlife. And you can just imagine all of that is just like, it's gone. It's just not there. And that's affecting, just in this one conservancy alone, over 6,000 Maasai families. It's endangering species, wildlife, because the problem right now is that there's no obligation for this land to stay for conservation. So this land can be turned back into agriculture, or they can put back fences. So if there's no money coming in and there's no financial incentive, at some point this is going to be very much in danger, this whole model. So that's why we're working so hard to raise this money right now. And this is why, you know, again, you can donate to us, and this is one of the places we're going to donate to. We actually haven't yet, but after this talk. Or you can donate directly to the Cottars Wildlife Conservation Trust, and I'll send you the information after this call. Again, keep your receipts. If you've donated, we will match up to $150 towards future travel per person on a future trip, if once travel can happen again. So today we're going to have a conversation with Joseph. We're really excited to have him here today. We're going to talk just about anything. You know, this is a free-flowing conversation. This is not a presentation. Talk about wildlife, ask questions. There's a chat box. I have a few questions of my own, but I'll be reading the chat box, trying to answer as many as possible, reading them out loud. I am going to keep everyone on mute just because it does get loud. There are 75 people on the call, so it's just easier if we just read them out loud. I would also recommend on the top right, Rachel, can you there's a way to, so you can just focus on Joseph. Just make sure there's a setting, I think it's on the top right, where you can just focus on Joseph. Rachel?
Yeah, it's just in the speaker view. So if you do that, you won't see all 75 people. It's in the top right.
And then we can just see Joseph. But before we start, and we'll get, you know, we start with Joseph, who is one of the top guides. If you ever go to Cottars, top safari guide, you know, absolutely amazing. I do want to start the presentation with just a short video, partly just to make us, I just want us to remember the Maasai Mara and why this is so important. So I will put this little video up, and let's dream a little bit before we start this little chat. So hold on, bear with me. So I share screen, Cottars, share. Okay, can we see it?
Can you hear me?
Okay, so Joseph, let's talk about you. Yeah, so tell us more about, you know, you're from the area, you grew up around there, you're from the Conservancy, you're now a guide. Can you just tell us a little bit about your background? You know, how did it all start? Why did you decide to become a guide?
Yeah, so I was born and raised up in the Mara, well, very in Oldekesi Conservancy, yeah, to be more precise. And yeah, so I grew up and you know lived with animals around here, and you know as we had livestock, we will encounter elephants, lions, and other wild animals as we had the livestock out there in the wilderness. So over the time, I have actually, you know, fell in love with wild animals, especially the big cats, you know, seeing them out there. And in 10 years ago, I went to a guiding school, and I went to Koyaki Guiding School to study to become a guide. And I graduated as a professional guide after a year of intense studies, and did some placement in some camps up in northern Kenya, and then started my guiding profession in Abosho Conservancy. And then now I work at home. I work at Oldekesi Conservancy, and it's beautiful being here. So yeah, so I'm a Maasai, and I live around here, and I have a family, a wife, and 3 kids.
Yeah, actually, I have, I'm just going to share just some photos, just so we can see some of your family. Let me hold on. Let me share this quickly. Try to get that. Zoom is still a little bit of a mystery sometimes. So let's see. Can everyone see this? Yeah, so this is Joseph. Yeah, so tell us a little bit more. So was this you at the guiding school or?
Yeah, yeah. I think we have a little bit, issue with Wi-Fi. It's
Oh,
up
yes.
and down.
Yeah, so tell us so I don't think I didn't hear, at least if we could tell us a little bit about yeah, the school, the guiding school, and who gets to go there and how it works.
So the primary idea of the Koyaki Guiding School, which was established in 2005, was to enable the young Maasai men and women to go to that guiding school so that they become guides in our local camps. Because back in the day, we did not really have a lot of Maasai people in camps around the Mara. So the whole idea was to try and engage communities in conservation. That is the primary idea. And Koyaki Guiding School has actually produced over 200 guides at the moment. Most of the camps, including Cottars here, have got a number of guides from Koyaki Guiding School. So that's a little bit about it.
And so did you see other guides around you that made you want to become a guide, or how did you hear about it and how did you apply? How did it all happen?
Yeah, actually, yeah, I've seen role models, people like Jonathan Loseya, who have been great guides, and they have actually motivated me. They have inspired me to become a guide. So I saw guides who went to the same school, and it was a dream coming true, and for me to go to Koyaki Guiding School. And it's quite a good school, and it taught us a lot actually.
Your sound is gone.
How about now?
Perfect. Yeah.
So of course, I have a favorite animal, which is a giraffe. I love a giraffe, and a leopard comes second after a giraffe. So working out here, it is a very beautiful place. The Maasai Mara is a very, very beautiful place. And I must say that God must have taken time creating the Mara. And waking up to this office is nothing compares with it. And every day is never the same. So going on game drives every day, it's a different day. And seeing lions this morning and in the evening, they are so different. They actually do different things. So you never get used to this. It is a it's a wilderness that nothing compares with it. So when I guide people around, I share the passion of what I love. I love the Mara very much. I love the animals, and it is so beautiful. And yeah, so it's a beautiful country. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about yeah, the Maasai culture. Here are some photos of you. Let's see first, here you are, you're wearing a shuka. Here's your family. Like, tell us a little bit more about, yeah, how you grew up.
Yeah.
You're from the area. Tell us where do you live?
So I live in a Maasai village, a Boma. We live in a big community, about 300 people, and we are all related by blood. So it's a big community that descended from probably one father. So we live in a village. We are more of a community. The Maasai people believe in the spirit of togetherness, living together in big extended families. So literally everybody knows each other. We Maasai people, have a lot of cows. We keep livestock as our pride. We have pride in livestock. So and they are so close to us. We believe that it was a gift from God. So we have a lot of livestock, and having this big land, we leave it for grazing, and even being at Cottars Conservancy, we do have controlled grazing because that's one good way of living in harmony between people and conservation as well. So despite the fact that we've left the land for conservation, we do have a model of controlled grazing where we let cows come in some areas, in restricted areas. So as a Maasai, we have all these shukas that you can see, and most of them are red. So the Maasai people came into Kenya back in the 15th century, and we came into this country when the Indians are already here, who are believed to have come into Kenya in the 9th century. So we used to put on cow skin. Of course, we don't put that. We don't put that now all the time, apart from special occasions like wedding ceremonies and other special occasions in some given time. So we do apply the red ochre onto our skin. So when the Indians saw this, they gave us the white garment. And putting on the white garment, it was too shouting. It was very visible. So we did dip the white garment into the red ochre. So that's how it ended up. We ended up having the red fabric because the factories were established, and then they ended up giving us the red shuka. All the beadworks you see are done by our women. So our women decorators, they get the beads from the shops, and we put the necklaces on because we like singing. Most of our songs are sung from the chest up, and we use the necklaces as accompaniment. So we have a lot of the jingles here that accompany our songs when we sing. And and even the necklaces and the bracelets, the belts, they're all made at the village by the women, and they are part of our culture. They are all part of our culture, and they go along with what we put on. So that's a little bit about our ornaments. So I will ask you again if you are hearing me.
Oh, we hear you really well now. This is perfect.
Nice.
So Joseph, like traditionally, the Maasai, you didn't have just one wife, but now you only have one. Do you want to talk about how it used to be and how it is now? Because I see only photos of one wife, but I know that's not how it used to be.
Yeah, it's one at the moment. Well, so polygamy is allowed
Wait.
in the Maasai culture. So, prestigious. Yeah, my internet connection is a little bit unstable. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
We can hear you. I think we just lost your video for a minute.
Shall we carry on?
Okay, there you are.
All right. So the Maasai people, the Maasai culture do practice polygamy, which is prestigious to have more wives and more kids. And we believe in big families, and that is the primary idea, to have a big name, because the big name, the more you will have leadership from your family, and if the more you have more daughters, the more you get more cows. So polygamy is practiced. At the moment it's slowing down a little bit because of some reasons. Probably the cost of life is a little bit high, so things are changing slowly. But it is something that is still part of it. Like the chief, my grandfather was married to 12 wives. My father, for one reason, I don't know why he was married to one wife, but his brothers were married to 3, and the others were married to 4, 5. But now most of my age mates, boys of my age, are married to 2 wives at the moment. So that's actually on average, most men are married to 2 wives now. A few of them are married to 1, but most of them are married to 2.
So how did you pick your wives? And traditionally, I know there's you know, can you talk to us a little bit about like being a warrior, you know, how you're organized in the Maasai
Mhm.
culture?
Yeah. So so when you are about 12, okay, let's say about 5 years old, you are named. So you are given a name. Before then, we did not name people. We did not name kids because malaria was quite prevalent back in the day, and kids used to die a lot because of malaria. And then you are kept until about 6, 7 years, and then they give you a naming ceremony. They have a naming ceremony to name you. And then after that, at around 12, 13 years of age, you undergo a rite of passage, which is circumcision. So you are graduated from being a child into an adulthood for both boys and girls. Although at the moment it is illegal for girls to undergo circumcision, but back in the day they used to practice for both boys and girls, and it's a very special, it's a very special it's a very special rite of passage to become a man. And for boys, we undergo without anesthesia or any painkiller, because you need to withstand the pain to prove your bravery. And after that, you become a warrior of about 10 years. And you go out, wander around. Back in the day, we used to kill lions. Now we don't, as a way of proving being a strong warrior. And then after 10 years of being a warrior, then you have a very big a graduation ceremony where you become a junior elder. So when you're a junior elder, your father will actually will have arranged a girl for you. So like I have two big brothers who actually had arranged marriages. So your father will arrange for you your first wife, and the dowry payment is around 10 to 15 cows, depending on the arrangement of the two families. So when you are a junior elder, then you are allowed to marry. That's after you've graduated from a warrior. Then you marry your first wife, and then the second wife. Sometimes it can be an agreement between you and your first wife, who needs a helper, because we have a lot of cows. So having a lot of cows, sometimes we need, the first wife will need a help to help the milk and attend the cows, because it's a lot of work. So even the first wife agrees for you to bring a second wife. And then what is so special about the setup of the village is that the first wife will be placed on the right hand of the entrance as you enter into the boma, and then the second wife will be put on the left side of the entrance. So that's the system. And then when you have your third wife, you put them on the right, close to the first wife, and then the fourth one you put them close to the second wife. So that's the arrangement as we make the circle of the village. So and then after that, now we have a lot of kids. We believe in having so many kids. Yeah, we try to have as many as we can. Yeah, can you hear me?
Perfectly, yes.
Yep. Okay, and then I'm just going to read a couple questions that are coming here in the chat.
Yeah.
So let's see. So somebody was asking, that traditionally males, ate only blood and milk from the cows, and they wanted to know if that is still part of a tradition or if that has changed.
Oh, a little bit. Quite a few things have changed during my father's time, and now so many things have changed. Blood and milk and a lot of meat used to be the daily meal for families, but now there's an introduction of maize, beans, a few vegetables, potatoes here and there. And now we only drink blood in very special occasions. We don't really drink blood daily like how it used to be. They drink blood during, when a mother gives birth. They believe that that will help bring back the lost blood during birth and during delivery, and also during circumcision ceremonies when boys undergo the circumcision. Then we give them some blood that we mix with milk, either fresh milk or fermented milk. How we get blood from our cows? we don't really have to kill a cow to get blood. We actually hit the jugular vein on the neck here with a sharp with a sort of a small special arrow that does that, and then we collect blood with a gourd or a jar or something, and then we can you can either drink it there or take it to the house and share with the rest. So of course, we still do drink blood, but now in very, very special occasions, not like how we used to back in the day.
Okay, thank you. And then somebody else asked about just how the male Maasai typically will prove their manhood. I think in the past, it would be having to hunt a lion or other animals, but somebody wanted to know if that is no longer practiced and what, that transition to manhood looks like now.
Yes. So actually, even the warriorhood stage has been sort of taken over by school, because back in the day we didn't really go to school, so we had all that free time to spend out there wandering around, getting to know your country better, and transversing from one area to the other. But now school has taken over, so we don't really have all that time to go out to kill lions, and even the government have actually put very, very tough measures to hunting, and we don't really kill lions anymore. We don't kill lions anymore. So it's not part of our rite of passage anymore to kill lions. And the only way we prove ourselves sometimes is undergoing circumcision when you are about 14, 15 years of age. So you have to withstand that. You have to withstand that pain without flinching, without moving a finger, without moving your toes or even blinking your eye. You have to be a strong boy for through the entire operation, and that means that's a big deal for your family.
So you were circumcised?
Yes, yes. So every man, every boy in our community must undergo the circumcision. Yeah.
Can you tell us a little about the ceremony, how you got ready, what they do?
So the circumcision ceremony takes. So we have we kill. We used to kill birds because we have to make a bird crown, very colorful bird, and that's how you alert father that you are ready to be circumcised. So you kill birds, you kill, you keep killing every day, two, three, until you have about 20 or 30 birds that you've made. And sorry, my internet is getting unstable again. Can you hear me?
It cut a little bit, right?
Are we there? Yeah. So I will say that. Can you hear me now?
Yep, it's a little bit choppy. I think the internet is just not good.
Yeah. How about now?
A little bit better, yes.
Okay. So I was saying that it takes about 2 months to prepare this one special day by making some local brew and getting ready to kill a cow, a big bull, because so many people will come to witness this ceremony. So a day before your circumcision, you bring baby cows home. You drive them from from the hill or out outside the village. So you bring them when everyone is seeing you. Sometimes people are very emotional seeing you coming home, and they actually say some so that you become very strong, and they remind you of some moments of other boys who underwent the same operation, to make sure that you don't flinch. Because if you flinch on that particular day and the bull has been killed, nobody will eat. No one will celebrate you. So it's sort of a shameful act if you flinch. So that's the first day, and then the next morning you are taken to the river, which is close to home, So you go and shower in a very cold stream. Probably that is to try and make your body a little bit numb or something. And then they bring you to the entrance of the village, and you go into the house, you pull out a skin, and this is the skin that you'll sit on. So you will sit, you will lean over to another man who will be holding you from your back, and you'll have about 40, 50 men shouting on you and sometimes insulting you a little bit to make sure that you don't flinch. So it's a very big day, and once you wait for the night, that's what we say, then it's a beautiful day for you. It's a beautiful day for you.
Did anyone flinch when how many were you during that day? Like when you
Sometimes if you are brothers, if you have about 3 brothers, they can you undergo circumcision all of you at the same day. But there is a month during my time. Uh, we were about 20 of us. Of course, we were not circumcised the same day, but almost throughout the month we were witnessing, circumcision every day of a different boy. And I think, if I remember, because it's been quite a while, one of them actually flinched, and it was not funny.
what happened?
So they will run. So if you have been following, like, you have about 40 or 50 people around you who are shouting on you, talking very bad words on you to make sure that you don't flinch. And if you flinch, all of them will run away. Everybody will run away and in different directions. And now you are left alone with the man who is circumcising you. So yeah.
Okay. Let's see. So everyone just feel free to submit any questions you have in the chat and I will read them. Okay. This one's, I guess more of a campfire story, but I guess somebody asked about you to talk about your interaction with predators and if you've ever got scared in your life.
Yeah, I got. I don't really remember getting scared when I was a young boy, but during the first year of my guiding, I got a little bit scared by encountering a big male elephant who actually almost toppled us over. Male elephants do undergo a period that's called mass. This is a sexual desire period where male are very active and sexually active, and they become very, very aggressive. And I drove close to one big bull, and I think that was just my first year of guiding. And I was trying to explain, very excited to tell my guest about this big bull elephant. And I switched off my car and I turned back to my guests to try and talk to them. And I read from the faces of my guests fear, and I didn't know why my guests were in shock, sort of shock, only to turn back and what I could see is be a big male bull elephant who will have covered the whole of the front of the car, and he placed his tusk on top of the bonnet of the Land Cruiser, and I freaked out. And of course, if I freak out, my guest, of course, will freak out. Luckily enough, I ignited the car, and that worked a little bit of magic. It spooked the elephant a little bit, and then I was able to retract back. So I really got scared that day.
Wow. Let's see.
Yeah, I see. Let's see. I just see. Oh, sorry, we're just trying to read some of the questions.
Can you share, do you want to share maybe one of your favorite wildlife stories?
Yeah. I would like to share a very, very a good experience of a lion, uh, uh, elephant, and a crocodile fighting over a zebra. But the elephant came just to intervene, to try and I don't know why he wanted to help a dead zebra. So I was sat on a we were sitting on the edge of the river, trying to wait for these zebras to cross the river. And it's not the Mara River actually; it was Sand River, which is quite a big river, but it's not as big as the Mara River. So we were waiting for the zebras to cross, and they started crossing. And then the lions were on the other side of the edge of the river, sitting to wait for these zebras to cross so that they can ambush them. So the first zebra that tried to cross was with a few babies, and it was a family, not a very big family. I think it was about ten zebras. And then the first one was caught when he was just about to cross the river by a crocodile. So he was held by the leg. And these lions, hey, were like, what happened? Because all the other zebras went back. They went back. They didn't. All of them did not cross. So they ran down. It was a group of about 13 lions. So it's a family of about three females and a couple sub-adults and cubs. So the mother held the zebra by the neck, and the crocodile was pulling from behind. So it was a stand up. It was a stand. The
I think we lost you for a second. Joseph?
into the river. My internet is getting a little bit unstable. Are
Yeah,
we
we
there?
lost you. We lost you for a minute there.
Yeah, and are we together again?
Yes.
All right. So as soon as the lion was almost half the body into the water, and the crocodile was really trying to drag both the zebra and the lion into the river, then there was this elephant that just came from nowhere, and he actually intervened, and both the lion and the crocodile let go the zebra, but the zebra
Okay, I think we're losing Joseph a little bit. I think we just need to be a little patient with the Mara Wi-Fi. Can you hear me, Joseph?
are we there?
We lost you again. I think the Wi-Fi is just failing on us. I think we might have you back now. Let's see. Let me see if I can hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, you're back.
Yes, and a few months ago, 2 months ago, we witnessed a very beautiful elephant giving birth to a baby, and that is really something else.
Okay, so now that you're back, I want to talk about some of the, I think I'm seeing a lot of questions now coming on a little bit about coronavirus. People want to know, has anyone gotten coronavirus in the Mara that you know of?
Luckily, no. Actually, I come from Narok County, and we have not had even one case of corona.
Okay, good to hear.
Yeah,
Okay, and then how do you think, because of this coronavirus, there's a loss of tourism. So how do you
yeah.
think that's going to affect your community? And, what are your thoughts on what's going on right now?
I think we are more affected by the government directives of locking down the country, and the Maasai people are affected in a way because tourism, of course, comes second after farming. We are livestock farmers, and we depend a lot on tourists who come into this area. And of course, for us who are leasing, for Cottars Camp, who are leasing around 7,000 acres of land to about 6,000 Maasais, it is going to be very difficult for them here to sustain the payment or the lease agreement if there is no tourist. The markets are closed, so even the Maasai people cannot be able to sell their cows if they wish to, because we are trying to control the spread of coronavirus. So it has affected us in that way, but we have not yet had any case of corona yet, at least in Narok County, which is quite a very big area.
Mm.
So do you think if this, how do you think this is going to affect like our Maasai? Do you think right now, do you think there's a worry that they will not continue protecting wildlife? Like, how do you think, how the Maasai reacting to this? And do you think there's like a future of having Maasai land and wildlife cohabitate, and how do we continue conserving this? Like, how are the reactions on the ground?
I think from my point of view, the Maasai people are aware of what's going on, and it's not the fault of wild animal. Of course, we have a very very positive relationship between the Maasai people and the conservancy itself, because we are stakeholders of the animals. We have a feeling that we are stakeholders of conservation. And the Maasai people are definitely not going to retaliate, to retaliate in any way, because we've benefited a lot, and we are still benefiting from wild animals. So if there is only a way that we can be able to keep the lease agreement going, at least getting funds to make sure that the Maasai people are able to get, their lease money on something, to keep harmony, between the conservation and the Maasai people. I think this is not going. Wild animals are not going to be affected so much. Of course, it's a big deal now because the park is quite empty at the moment. Nobody is there, so we don't know if animals will be poached or something, because of course there are people with ill motives, and they will try to take advantage of the situation at the moment. But we do have our scouts, our rangers, our quarter rangers who are there, quite a lot of them. And Girl Scouts are back in the ground, and they are going to man the area. So we are going to try to make sure that we don't have poachers in conservancy or any other protected area, to make sure that our animals are safe until everything comes back to normal. So if there is a way we can be able to keep these people going, so that we keep the harmony.
And do you feel, what is the mood? Are you seeing any signs of poaching or anything on the ground right now? I mean, I know you're coming back from low season. This is usually rainy season, so this isn't so different from, I mean, it's always been a low season, but what are people saying on the ground?
We think, we have a feeling that things might go back to normal at a given point. But at the moment, people are fine. They are okay. They are not. We are not complaining so much at the moment, and we have not seen poachers yet in the area. We've been going out on game drives and going around the conservancy and the reserve as well, and we have not seen anything. We have not seen anything bad at the moment. We don't know how long it will go, but we are fine at the moment.
Oh, that's good to hear. And I've had a few questions of people asking, and I don't know if anyone knows the answer, if they can travel to Kenya by mid-September. We're hoping that yes, they haven't quite announced anything yet. So, we're hoping it will be open in September, but it's very hard to know right now. It's a little bit day by day, but we are hoping that it will open up. So anyone who is interested, and definitely wants to come in September, I see a question there. yeah, we hope, you know, it should be an amazing time to go because there's just so much less. We were just talking earlier, I was asking Joseph how it was in the Mara right now because there are just no tourists around. So what, you know, had he ever seen the Mara with so few vehicles?
Yeah, it's so quiet. It's so quiet. I was just telling Elizabeth that I think animals are wondering where everyone is. It's very quiet. I've never seen something like this. I've never seen the Mara so quiet like how it is now. I think even for the recovery of the area, for the recovery of the savannah, I think it's a good thing that there are not so many cars at the moment, so that everything can be able to come back to you know can regrow. The roads get to you know because people made a lot of roads, so nature is healing at the moment, and you know animals are having sort of a little break, but yeah, not to say that we don't want people to come back, but I think we are positive that things will be well.
Well, I like the optimism. We do look forward as well to anyone coming back. I mean, it is an amazing time to be there. Are there any other questions? You know, Joseph, he, you know, feel free to ask more questions if you want to talk about wildlife. I mean, he's here. One of the questions that just came in is the Maasai Mara, do they have open borders where animals can roam wherever they want? So is there anything holding in the animals in the Mara?
The Maasai Mara is an open country, an open savanna. Which is not fenced, and you know, to let me just explain a little bit that we have the Maasai Mara National Reserve, and we have got Old Delicacy Conservancy, which is one of the 11 conservancies that border the Maasai Mara National Reserve. And along all these borders, nothing is fenced. So animals can move in and out, and even into Serengeti, because Maasai Mara ecosystem is an extension of the Serengeti National Park. So these two ecosystems join, and the animals can just transfer back and forth. So it's not fenced. It's not fenced at all.
Another question just came in. What is the animal that is getting approached the most?
Um, well,
And I'd like to point out
elephants.
elephants.
Yeah, elephants. I think it's one of the animals that's being poached mostly because of the trophy, the tusks. Um, yeah, so I think that's the most animal that's being poached more. Although it's not as it used to be, the poaching has really gone down because the government has really put a lot of measures. But these animals are migratory. They move from one area to the other, and our long-term goal is to try and expand the corridors into places, into the animal corridors, into the Lloyd forest. And I think you will lose me in a minute because the connection is unstable. Are we together?
We're together.
Yeah, you lost me a little bit.
I think we're losing you again. Yeah, we were hearing you. No. Yeah.
Yeah, are we there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. I think we're back.
All right. So elephants are migratory animals that move from. They have a very big home range that they migrate from the forest to the forest and coming back into the plains. And our long term goal is to secure the corridor, and to make sure that the corridor is well manned moving forward, to make sure that these animals migrate safely back and forth. Yeah.
Another great question. Does your village ever lose livestock to predators?
Yeah, we do lose, but now we have a very, very good relationship with lions, of course, and hyenas and leopards. So we don't retaliate. But the conservancy have the government have a compensation scheme whereby if your animals are eaten in your village, then you can be compensated for that. So yeah, we do lose animals to predators.
So some people are asking, Sandra's asking, she would like to hear more about some of your other ceremonies and their purposes.
Yeah.
So, we talked about your coming to age. Are there other ceremonies that you'd like to share?
We talked about wedding ceremony, did we?
We did not talk about your wedding ceremony. Would you like to talk about
Okay. Yeah, so we do have a wedding ceremony, and so this is so normally when you have the arranged marriages, then you visit the girl's village, and we also marry away from the village because most people from the village are related by blood, so we do not intermarry. Rather, we marry girls from a different clan. So we go to the girl's village and we bring her. You bring her to your home. So the girls leave her parents and she comes to your village. And we do pay the dowry of about 10 to 15 cows, and we bring them. So it's a big ceremony where we kill a bull as well, we kill a few sheep, and everybody come and we celebrate. We have a lot of singing. People drink the local brew that is made out of the sausage tree. They call it muratina. That's a local brew that they make at the village, and people drink that, and it's a happy time. And we sing a lot, and also death also is something that we celebrate, especially the death of the old people. So we also, we kill a big bull, and we celebrate the death of the old people. But for the young men, it is not something that we really celebrate, and we tend even to forget. We don't associate ourselves with the death of very young men. We try to give away. We don't even name anybody the name of a young boy who died when they're very young. But the old men, we can name their children, or even my kids, I can name the name of my father to keep the name going. So those are a few ceremonies that we do have. Yeah.
Okay, you always have wonderful voices. I don't know, Joseph, if you sing well, but can you sing some of I just want to hear some of those songs.
Yeah. Yeah, I can sing a song.
Okay.
Yeah. Sigolanga ya yorobili, togoragi yorobili ai. Togoragi ngowange maya, ninjo ndawange ngora. Garayanga ya imindisya, yomarere randawang. Yomarere randawang, ulje ulila ngoerera. Aje wasai gobe yenin, modor mongile gaman. Eme gura shalari, beira doi romare. Loila bage do subugo la lengi jabe. Lo shomo me yolo, eme do nagi jabe. Kai, nachamisho, kaya rasho jegudi. Kai, nachamisho, kaya rasho jegudi. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, that was amazing. Thank you so much. I imagine, were you singing in Maasai?
Yes, I was singing about the rain and the cows and the herdsmen. So praying to God for the rain we ask God for the rain, and so that the animals cannot suffer from starvation. So
That
that's
was
the meaning.
wonderful. Wow, that just made I miss it so much. That was just really beautiful. And I think, you know, it's been an hour, so I know everyone took time off work, but I think this was like an amazing way to end.
Yeah.
If there are any more questions, you know, feel free to send over. Joseph, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
We can't wait to visit you again. I think we're all ready to fly out there and be with you.
Yeah, we can't wait to have you back.
Perfect. Thank you so much, everyone. I will have a recording of this. I will send it over, and we'll all come together soon. Thank you so much, and have a great evening.
Thank you.
Bye bye.